Childhood trauma is very complex, quite troublesome, and influences every of our adulthood decision. Unfortunately, no one has the time to teach you emotional intelligence in school. No one pays attention to emotions. Meanwhile, this is the major aspect of our life that pulls us down, makes us or breaks us, however we want to look at it. Emotion is so important. And then I keep wondering, how come no one is teaching us about emotion in school? When I found this out, I know that I need to start tutoring myself. On today's video, we are going to look into those childhood trauma that has been destroying our adulthood. It doesn't matter how old you are, 20, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. If you do not pay attention to work on those childhood traumatic damages that has been unconsciously accepted into your being, it keeps on destroying every part of your life. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ifi Ilikano. On this channel, we talk about self-improvement. The focus on this channel is solution. Of course, we know there are so many damages in life, mentally, emotionally, physically, and everywhere. But what we want to deal with is on how do we heal? How do we navigate? How do we improve ourselves so we can have better relationship, we can have better decision making, we can relate to others and remove all the toxins that is slowing our growth and affecting major areas of our lives. We're going to talk about those traumatic, destructive aspect of our childhood trauma that no one looks at. I have been on the process of healing myself on trauma. I have a whole bunch of traumatic experiences growing up, from sex abuse to physical abuse to neglect to hard beating to abandonment, talk down to all sort of self-abuse. And because I have, and I saw how these things had destroyed my career choices, my personalities, the relationship that I've been into, I know somewhere along the line that I need to work on my trauma. Because some of us don't even know that we have been giving trauma responses in our decision making, in our relationships, in our careers, in everything. But today's topic, we are going to talk mainly on how these traumas peel into our relationships and destroy everything. And part of them could come so gentle, so subtle, but they are speaking loud. If you do not pay attention into these things, they would keep on taking the best part of your life. I grew up in an African society where culture is being valued more than anything. And you don't know it because somewhere along the line, your mother is raising you to be culturally correct. Everyone screams for you to pay attention to the culture and live your life so you don't bring shame to the family. All of those experiences growing up, the things I saw, the shock, the fear, brought this woman that I am today. I am noticing that I'm very extremely empathic. I'm noticing that I'm extremely fearful. I'm not saying that it's hard for me to say no. I find myself doing a whole lot of things that if I am to switch opinion or ask me what I want, I wouldn't have chosen them. But here I am, like this kind of thing that pulls you away from saying the right thing, doing the right thing. Meanwhile, you know what is right. I also experienced how this trauma affects other women in making decisions. You see, these women obviously aware that the marriage that they are in is killing them, is draining them, is giving them high blood pressure. But these women cannot say no. They cannot just leave the marriage because they do not know where to go or what to do. This is trauma response. And the next person they have to go tell will tell them, but you have no choice. You just have to be here. What are you going to do? If you leave, where would you go? Of course, my culture do not structure it okay for a woman to break free from marriage. Marriage becomes a place where you have to endure everything and you don't have to leave because it defines who you are. I have grown to break free from these things. As I have grown to start reading, getting exposure, seeing things from other backgrounds, I started knowing that I'm a human being, I'm a child of God. These things can be different. It takes me to change me. I need to start reprogramming myself. I need to start reparenting myself. I also started having compassion for my own parents because I can sit down to tell where it all started from. Looking from my mom's background, looking from my dad's background, Looking at the background of each and every one of them, I knew exactly why they are so, why I was raised like that. And I knew firsthand that it is all in my power to change it and to help myself. Some of these neglected, untold aspects of trauma that we do not pay attention is perception. Perception issues. Some aspects of trauma responses that no one has been talking about, or it's not really being paid attention to because it seems subtle. It carries you on how you see things, how you read meaning into things, how you even listen to conversation, how you view your own opinion, how you interpret messages, how you interpret personalities, everything about you. And because you are traumatized in so many ways, you could be in a place and assume that people who are innocently having a conversation is actually talking about you. You can be walking by and people laugh and you feel that they are laughing at you because you are not looking good or there's something wrong with you. You can be in a relationship where someone say a thing like, "It's not me." You will reverse it and tell it to be, "Oh, it's my fault." Everything is always about you, and always about you on the negative angle, hardly on the positive angle, because that's when you know that it is traumatic. And it's because trauma most times is not empowering. It takes you down, it diminishes you and brings you down to who you are not. Then the second aspect that people are not paying attention to is neglecting your emotions. Oftentimes because we grow up being treated so badly, I live in a home where trauma is everyday experience. It is easy for you to break off from bad relationships when you see the red signs, when it is obvious that you are not supposed to be here. You find out that you are protecting people, you are giving excuses and reasons why you should endure and be there. You endure red flags, you don't pay attention to red flag, you don't balance it, you don't look at yourself from the trueness of who you are. You value other people first before yourself. You can look down on yourself, you can put yourself down, even in a very demeaning situation, you will still be there. And this does not matter the kind of education you acquire. This can happen to just anyone. It's a trauma response. Sometime this year, a very popular known Nigerian artist died. She's a gospel artist. Everyone knows her. She has one of the most blessed voice in the world. But she got married to a narcissist, a man who controls her, a man who dictates where she goes to sing, a man who takes her money, who tells her how to spend her money, who to work with, how to walk. And she has this religious background that it doesn't matter what the man does to her, she has to stay. This man wasn't just physically abusive, this man was emotionally abusive. She couldn't tell no one except the pastor. And the pastor who always tell them that you don't have to share your family issues with anyone. It has to be you, your husband, your pastor. One morning we woke up and she was killed in domestic violence. When we neglect abuse, when we keep tolerating abuse, it simply signals our trauma response, because we grow up seeing these things as normal, and then when people are badly treating you, you don't have any choice than to keep giving them excuses or find something to tell to protect them just so you keep on being there. But what I have learned on this journey is that anything that does not balance up well has a problem, including empathy. Empathy itself is a healthy emotion, because sometimes naturally we feel for other people, right? But when we are extremely empathic, or when we are not empathic at all, something is wrong somewhere. There's a trauma response screaming somewhere along the line that we need to pay attention to. Another aspect of a trauma response that ruins our relationship is trying to be a helper and a mother for everyone. There's this thing about trying to have self-identification that is linked in trying to be everything for everyone. And this speaks out loud in relationship. It is okay for you to help people, but to carry the burden of being the mother of all people, doing all the work, even to your own detriment. Even when you have seen that you are becoming a workaholic and it is telling in your body and it is not even healthy, you still want to get up and do it. Sometimes it costs you your health issues, but you keep doing them. I can relate this to a friend of mine who always wants to do everything for everyone. She takes care of everyone except herself. One day I met her, I saw eye bag on her eyes, and I was like, why? Your body is screaming that you need help and you still want to get done this. What if you die? If anything happens to you, are you aware that everyone is going to move on? Are you aware that if you are not there, they will do these things? You are not created to be anyone's burden bearer. You can help people, you can be empathic, but you should know your place as a human being and not to cross boundaries, because you too, you need to preserve your own health. You need to stabilize your own emotion. Then again, the other aspect that we don't pay attention to is finding it so hard to say no. It took me time to realize that no is a full statement. It took me a long time. Even after I had said no, I would start explaining myself. You see, over explaining myself, I'm still coming back from that same trauma. I wasn't hard on myself because I know that I'm beginning to grow. I'm beginning to learn to crawl. The running starts from beginning to crawl. So for me to learn to say no was a big step for me. Then the second step was when I know that I can break off and say no. It doesn't matter how anyone feels. It was the first healing. I'll say no and explain why I'm saying no, just so you understand that it's not my fault, and just so you see the way I see it and you will not judge me. It's always about the other person being happy than I find myself to be happy. So after I have done identify these things, I started working on how to heal from all of these dirty, toxic emotions, to flush them out of my system, because they are not me, they are not defining me, they are not bringing good vibes around me. So the first step I dealt with on trying to detox these things is to find the spots in my room and start journaling. I got a book and I call this book my self-healing journey. On this book, I started writing my stories, remembering all of those childhood experiences. I write them down and I write how I want to conquer them. I need to conquer these demons. It is my job to start reparenting myself. Then I went on Google to search for affirmations that would help me. All these affirmations I found simply helped me to get over them. I am enough. I am loving. I see things exactly the way they are. You know, I found affirmations that matched with the emotions I was dealing with. I wrote them down and I made a conscious effort to read these things out every morning, just so my subconscious will start taking this thing back, because it took a long years of abuse. I got stuck in abuse, in a messy one, in all aspects of it. I knew that it's going to take time, it's going to be very intentional. All of those things that held me back, it is my job, and I made a conscious effort to work on this healing. I started joining groups. On Facebook was the first place. So I went to Facebook, I typed childhood trauma support group, and groups popped out. And when the group popped out, I started joining the groups, started reading other people's experiences, started seeing the books they were reading and how they too were going through their journey. I became active in my Facebook group. The book they recommended were fantastic. They were all focused on healing. And then another thing I did was to decide from that day on to be very compassionate with myself. Compassion is the easiest way for me to get through everything, including forgiving myself, healing, being gentle to myself, talking to myself calmly, talking to myself lovingly, because it's my job. I had taken years to listen to other people talk me down, do me dirty, do me bad. Now it is my time to take my time to talk myself into sweetness, into liberty, into everything good, so I can heal myself. It is a conscious effort. I was ready and I was willing to do everything to get out of being stuck stalked. Nobody deserves to be stalked. These are some of the childhood trauma neglect that we have not been paying attention to. And for you to liberate yourself to have a healthier relationship, you need to work on yourself. You need to heal on yourself. Because when you heal for yourself, you are going to make better decisions. You see things for what they are. You call them what they are. You balance your emotions. You don't need to be hyper or lower. Balance is what we are all looking for. Even when you were wrongly parented, you can take it upon yourself to reparent yourself and heal your childhood trauma. Take out your time, find out where you have gone wrong, line it up and heal yourself.